this video, we'll be discussing some of the basic functionality for creating and managing events in RecHub. Now, for our demo hub, I'm currently viewing our events calendar, which of course can be accessed through the Events tab, View Events Calendar. And a few things I want to point out here. Of course, your calendar can be viewed on a monthly, weekly, or daily basis, but you'll also notice that our demo club has quite a number of events happening in July. So I'm going to go ahead and filter this out by the different categories. So let's say we only wanted to take a look at our ASA courses that are going to be offered. Of course, I can narrow down the category for the calendars from here. Now, to adjust and create your own different event categories, you would do so from the Administration tab, Administer Event Categories. Now, the calendar will highlight the same for both staff members and for members and participants or anybody who has access to your RecHub install. So from the calendar, we can actually click on one of these events and it's going to take us directly to that event page. Now, I'm currently logged in as an administrator, so you can disregard this notification at the top. However, again, this will also be showing very similar for staff members as well as for regular participants. The main two differences is since I'm logged in as an administrator, of course, I have a number of different options down here, and then I can also view the participant list. General participants and non-staff members do not have access to view who else is signed up for events. Now, if I were logged in as simply a regular member for this club, rather than having all these options down here, I would actually just see a big sign up button. So it makes it very clear and easy for your members to sign up for events. Now, on our event page, we can see a variety of basic information. So of course, we have the title of our event, we have the different schedule going on. So you can see this is happening. This is a 5-day course running 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. each day. This event is open for sign up, and we also have different payment options available. Now, we won't be touching on payment options in this video. However, you can learn more about these through our Zendesk help guide. Moving on, for our event information, you can see we have our description here. Now, of course, descriptions are completely customizable, so you would want to include any pertinent information to this event. And as we are adding participants to our events, you'll notice that these two are actually highlighted in different colors. So we have our guide here, paid in full for green, owes payment for yellow, and then a few different options as well. If this were an unpaid event, all of your participants would actually be highlighted gray as no payment would be collected. Now, if I click on one of these participant tabs, I can actually see all of the information for this participant. I can see the date and time that they signed up, how much they were invoiced. It will link me directly to their invoice, as well as contact information, ratings, their profile picture, and any other pertinent information such as event questionnaires. Now, in this case, a questionnaire wasn't attached to this event at the time of sign up, but if it had been, you would see that information right here, and then this would be for anything such as entering their boating resume or asking simple event-specific questions would display from there. Now from this tab, you can also go directly to the user profile, remove them from the event, or swap them into another event if need be. Now, in most cases, your participants will be signing up directly on their own online. However, you do have the ability to add them with or without payment to events on the staff member side. So you'll see here, I can add a member without payment, and then this would highlight them as gray as they would not have been invoiced. However, I can also sell this via the point of sale. So if I were to click here, this would direct me right to the point of sale, pre-fill with the event in my cart, and then I would simply do a member search for who is going to be registering. Now, additionally, we have a couple different options from here. You can email all of your participants from the event. We can assign them ratings. And then a really great functionality, especially if you'll be out on the water, is you can actually print paper rosters from here. So if I were to print an event roster, I can select all of the information that I want included. I'll add these in, and then it'll generate my roster with the full participant list. Now, in this case, I added that notes box as well as our attendance checkbox dates. So this is also really great if you have any youth classes and need to keep track of which kids are arriving. Going back to our event page here, something I want to point out, so we're going to be editing this event just for simplicity, so everything will be pre-filled, but this page is going to look very, very similar to the create an event page. Now, when you go to create an event, of course you can start completely from scratch, but you also have the ability to create events from templates by clicking this button here. Now, event templates can be created from administration and minister event templates. So I'll jump to this page and show you one of our pre-existing ones. And let's say I'm looking at our ASA 101 class. Rather than entering all of the detailed information, the schedule, the description, which boats we'll be using, things like that, every time we want to schedule this course, by creating a template, we can actually save a lot of time and it will simply copy over the information for the template. You would just enter the new dates for and start times, and then we can create lots of events based on this. Now, if I scroll down, you can actually see all of the future events that all of the future events that are based on this template. And then this is also really great if you need to make a universal change. So let's say, for example, you decide, hey, we're going to increase the price $50. Rather than editing each one of these events individually, we would actually just update the template and then we can sync all of our future events back to that template. So all of that information will again be pre-filled for us and taken care of very quickly. Now going back to creating an event, or in this case, editing an event, you can see I'm editing our ASA 101 course. So of course we have our event name as you just saw. And then we have our basic schedule. So since this is a 5-day course, we would have to add schedule 5 times and then select our different dates and times. So of course, you can have different start and end times for your different dates. In this case, we just kept them the same for simplicity. However, in the event that you have, say, an overnight charter, uh, rather than having this schedule added for each individual day, since nobody's going to be going home during an overnight charter, we would actually just drag our mouse down here and then select all of these days. And then you'll notice my schedule changes instead of simply July 23rd. Now our schedule is going to run from July 23rd to the 30th. And you'll notice the difference if I delete these other dates involved here. Now, as you saw me filter the event category, we would select this from here. And again, categories can be created through the administration tab. Now, of course, we can attach event leaders, so this will show who is instructing a class or leading an event. And you can add multiple leaders, so if you would like to add somebody as an instructor, you would simply search for them by last name. If they do not already have an account in RecHub, you would click New User to add them. Okay, and we have our description. We won't be touching on custom fields too much in this video, but these can be managed through administration and minister custom fields. If you have any questions on how to create custom fields, such as in this case, you can see we have a notice of race to drag and drop different photos or files. If you have any questions on custom fields, simply email us at support and we'd be happy to help you with those. Now, as for our registration options, you can see we have our total number of participants, so the maximum capacity for this event. If you remember, our participants showed that we had 2 registered with 2 open spaces. And if you are working with unpaid events, you can also have a wait list. Now, as a reminder, waitlists cannot be used with simple registration or with paid events at this time. We're going to come back to participant types in just a moment. I do want to touch on our different registration modes here. Now, standard and cart and family youth are going to work very similarly. Everybody must have an account in the system, so either will be prompted to create one upon registration, or they can log into their existing account. But the main difference between standard cart and family youth is standard and cart, I as a member can only sign myself up for an event. However, if the event is set in family youth mode, I can sign myself up, I can sign my child up, my spouse, whoever would be attached to me in RecHub. Now, this is really great if you have, for example, say summer camps. I, as the parent, of course, I'm not going to sign myself up, but I do want to have my child linked to me in RecHub. So I would sign them up through here and then register them for the event. Now, simple registration is a little bit different. For simple registration, this is really great option if you have anything with ticket sales. So for example, a whale watching cruise or anything that's just going to have a large capacity. And simple registration is going to be a very quick checkout page. So rather than collecting all of the information on custom fields or requiring them to create an account, we only require basic information. So first name, last name, email, and then if you have any questionnaires attached to this event, they would still be prompted to answer those. However, we're not going to create an account for them. And although they do have the option to create one themselves, we're not going to create that account. And they will have the ability to also purchase multiple tickets under their name if enable registration quantity down here is checked. So the difference here, as you saw on our participant page, rather than showing each individual person that's signed up, if we're using simple registration mode and we enable our registration quantity, it will actually show as the name of the person who has registered, party of however many. So we're not going to be collecting the names or any other information with registration quantity. We're only going to be collecting the simple information of John Doe and then noting the total tally of participants joining from there. Now, working on our participant types, these are currently by default skipper and crew, but you can adjust the names of these. And from here, you can attach different questionnaires to the different person types. And you can also have a maximum number of registrations. So let's say in this case, since we've got 4 slots available, we want 1 skipper, 2 crew, or maybe even, actually, we'll just not use crew. We'll have 1 skipper, and then the remaining are going to be automatically signed up as participants. So with participant types, when I go to register for this event, I can say, hey, I'm going to be a skipper, or if that skipper spot has already been taken, in that case, it would just be automatically a participant. And with this, you'll notice on our questionnaires, we can select different questionnaires for the different participant types. So let's say everybody who signs up for the event, we're going to want to have them take the ASA 101 questionnaire. However, for the skipper, we might want a little bit more information. We might want to learn about their boating resume. Now, these questionnaires are just examples that we've created in our demo. However, you can add your own questionnaires through administration, administer questionnaires. Moving on, you also have the ability to enable automatic person types. So let's say, for example, this is one of those youth classes that I was mentioning. Obviously, anybody who signs up for a youth summer camp is going to be a child, so we would want to label them as youth. And then you have the ability, this will attach it to their profile, and then you have the ability to search for these different person types when you use your Find Another User contact search. A few more different options. So for our equipment, we can select to reserve a specific boat, and then this will actually reserve, or excuse me, make a reservation on the equipment reservations calendar. So from here, I can just say, okay, I'm going to not select all of them, but maybe we'll reserve our spray boat here. And then additionally, you can also allow participants to reserve their own equipment during sign up. So in this case, you would just select the category and then they would select their own equipment. And it will show, as you can see here, it'll only show the boats that are available during that time. We can also feature this event on the front page. And then lastly, for event options, we have event policies. So this is a great place to put any cancellation policies or weather policies, anything of that nature. Really anything that isn't included in your general waiver and is going to be specific to this particular event. So rather than something that's already been included in their waiver, which they will obviously have to agree upon creating an account, event policies, again, specific to each individual event, and then they'll simply have to select that they agree in order to move forward in registering. Now I'll go ahead and save our event here. And you'll notice, so we did make that change. So rather than having the different daily schedule, now I've adjusted this. This is now an overnight course, and it's going to be a full week long. from the 23rd until the 30th here. You can see it's added Hayden on, whose profile I could click on from here. And then we also just added our spray. So if I go to our spray boat here, I can see all of that information. And then I'll also be able to see that event now tacked on to its reservation calendar. That concludes it for today's overview of events. If you have any questions, please email us at support@rechub.app. Thanks.